I want to start off by saying I don't hate Palworld. And I actually thought the game had a lot of potential to be a really good game. But it definitely needs a lot more time to cook, hence the game being early access. From all the reactions I've seen from YouTube videos, Twitch streams, or even Steam reviews, the glazing is insane. Yes, the game is Pokemon with guns, but when do you actually get a gun? I played with a 20x XP modifier and 3x loot gains, and I still didn't get to the point where I even got a crossbow. Let alone a gun. Where the fuck's the gun? Shit, having a gun would have made the game like twice as fun, probably. Instead of using the shitty melee weapon and shitty bow, what the fuck? Which this is also a huge concept I think everybody is looking past. I'll be the one to say it. I think the game was falsely advertised. Go to the Steam page, go do it right now. All the videos, all the pictures they got up there, I promise you, not a single one of them is gonna look like the game does. The actual game is like if Pokemon Arceus met a watered down version of like Valheim. Huh? And there you have it. That is what Palworld is. And a lot of people apparently like that. But I was actually looking forward to the game being something completely different, because I thought it was gonna have a dog shit story that we were all just gonna run and gun through while we caught Pokemon on the way, and it'd be a meme game that everybody enjoyed and laughed at. Except there is no story, and by the time you even get a gun, not even an automatic one, you will be almost done with the game. I promise you. Well, probably, unless you're like maximum loot farmer. And honestly, the combat isn't even really combat. It's super clunky. Like most of the time, you'll just be sitting there beating a pal, whacking at it while it doesn't really do anything, or shooting it with a bow multiple times while it runs away. And that's if you get lucky and don't get one shot by the stronger ones later on. A lot of the stronger pals later on, mainly the big boss ones, have attacks that are super clunky in a sense that they shouldn't even hit you in the first place, or the attacks where it's like aimbot locking onto you while it jumps over you and lands on you, and then you kind of dodge into it by accident because of the aimbot landing. The game barely has any music at all. It's more so just ambience, except for like boss fights, apparently. Now, yes, I am really disappointed with the game overall, but there are some good points to the game. The game does have a character creator, even though it's more like a preset selector, besides the fact that you can make your person like just a huge blob of muscle. The eyes look cool, even though they look like PNG images, but you know, the cutscenes were actually pretty decent. But there is 2 in the entire game. The UI for stuff like inventory can be super clean, and like moving stuff around feels super fluid. Some of the piles look pretty cool, even though some are generic. The Pokeball animation is actually sick. It's probably better than Pokemon's, honestly. The world looks lively for the most part, even though when you really sit there and think about it, there's only like 3 destinations, locations you'll ever need to fast travel to. Your base, the trader village, the last fast travel you went to. So yeah, I guess having pals pop up constantly can make it feel more lively. The game mechanically feels pretty good, or at least good enough. Of course, the glider doesn't feel as good as Fortnite, but it's still definitely good. There is some sort of progression system with like the technology points, so I guess there's that. There's also fast travel, and I don't really remember there being any loading screens, and that also might be because I have a good computer, so no complaints there, I guess. And the pals will actually help you farm, mine, and build stuff around your base, but that's pretty much all the good parts. Now for all the bad. I've never liked and hated a UI more than Palworld's. Now, of course, this is my opinion, but let's not even overlook the fact that you can't even map anything to your forward or back mouse button. What? The game is super grindy. Grindy to the point where you will do multiple wood stone runs multiple times on a 3x item multiplier. So I actually would hate to see what it actually looks like to grind the game on a hard difficulty. I think it's 0.8 is the multiplier or some shit. Like I said, I like a lot of the pals, but some are pretty generic or almost straight rip-offs of Pokemon, which that part doesn't bother me, but if you want to be a white knight for Pokemon, then there's multiple cases for it, go ahead. Remember when I said the cutscenes were really good? Yeah, there's literally 2. The world is only lively from the Pokemon pop-ins and the farming you'll have to do, and other than that, it's just a walking simulator. A lot of the base and camp mechanics, or even mechanics overall, just either don't work, are bugged, or are very janky. For instance, I sat a feeder close to my pals' beds, a little too close apparently, and they magically won't eat. When they went hungry, they literally ran off into oblivion, or they just repeatedly tried to keep doing the same thing while colliding with each other. When your pals come try to help you build something, they can't even properly reach it sometimes. If I threw a pal to do a certain task for a certain job, Sometimes they just seemed like they were incapable of doing it, as if they didn't know what kind of prompt I was trying to get them to do. And overall, I didn't really build much of anything because of all these combined factors. I really only did the bare essentials because there wasn't no fucking way I was gonna sit there and play long enough to build my house with plants, bro. And once the tutorial ends, which isn't even really a tutorial, it's more like a set list of missions, well, little bitty task, you could say. That's it, you're done. No more objectives. Get all the pals and complete your upgrades, maybe. And some of you might think I'm joking, but nah, I'm dead ass, cuh. You will walk to this tower. It's a singular boss fight. You win, you teleport to the top of tower. Objectives over. What? Really? That's the moment I realized I wasted my fucking time. Because there's nothing to do! I couldn't believe there wasn't any more tasks. Anything, literally anything. Go do this singular boss tower. Or go capture this huge boss pal in this location. Bruh. Anything. Overall, the game isn't terrible. It's just definitely a hollow game in a lot of aspects. I enjoyed it. Until I didn't. And for $30, I don't know about that one, Chief. This is during the first few days of like early access, whereas the game's selling for $26 instead of the $29. So yeah, in a sense, I guess the game is worth $26-ish if you're feeling good. And again, let me just say, I do not hate this game. I was just completely sold on a completely different game than the one I wanted.